Did you know that across the world, suicide is the third leading cause of death among those aged 15 to 29? Kenya is no exception. Between 2017 and 2021, our country recorded up to 1,500 suicide deaths. But experts believe the real figure is much higher, hidden behind stigma, silence, and unreported cases. Kenya's youth are the country's future workforce, leaders, and innovators. With over 75% of Kenya's population under the age of 35, the voices of the young people carry incredible weight. Yet, they also face heavy pressures, the struggles to find work, family expectations, financial stress, and the constant comparisons on social media. For some, these pressures become overwhelming, raising urgent questions about mental health, stigma, and about the systems meant to support them. When suicide strikes, families are left shattered, friends are left with questions, and communities carry scars that few can see. But there is also hope. Young people are refusing to stay silent. Many are starting conversations, creating safe spaces, and pushing back against the stigma around mental health. Their courage is shifting the narrative, but the challenge now is whether those voices are being heard. This is not just a story about statistics. It's about lived experiences, shared struggles, and collective hope. Join Sally Limo on Family Matters as we amplify youth voices on suicide awareness, mental health, and building a culture where speaking out is a sign of strength.
Absolutely. A very good morning to you wherever you are joining us this morning on Relationship Clinic. And this morning, just like the explainer has done it right there, it's about matters youth voices, especially when it comes to, suicide awareness and as well as prevention. And, we've heard that young people are actually refusing to be silent. And I'm joined by an amazing, amazing panel of young people who have actually decided we're not going to be silenced about this. We are not going to accept the stigma. We're going to fight it and push, as they spread this word about how you can fight that, how you can prevent it and create this awareness. Remember, this information, this content is on all our social media platforms, including, our YouTube channel, which right now we are actually live on it. If you want to be part of this conversation, you can do that by just plugging in on 20316. That is our SMS line, or 0786316316. That is our WhatsApp line. We also have a place somewhere in Lamu. We have Lamu. Lamu is very, very close to our heart. We want to just fly over to Lamu and get our frequency there. This is the right time to do that. This is the right content for Lamu people to also actually have a piece of. Then how are we going to do it? We cannot do it on our own. We need your help. We need your assistance. We need you to hold our hand and just fly with us to Lamu. And how do you do that? By just sending in your support, supporting us in whatever way, no matter how little it is. You can do that through our pay bill number 316 and the account name is Lamu. Yes, let us go to Lamu. Let us get also to just have their content here, their culture, rich culture. Let's talk to them, let's inform them and educate them. My name is Sally Limo and I'm joined in studio by Njuki and Zilani. Karibuni sana, my young people.
Thank you.
Mko salama?
Kabisa.
Okay. Zilani, I'll start with you to introduce yourself to us.
All right.
And then Njuki. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm Esther Zilani. First and foremost, I'm a born-again Christian. I love the Lord.
Amen.
I'm a personal assistant by profession, and I'm an inspirational writer too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Njuki.
Hi, my name is Njuki Nganga, and I'm very passionate about mental health and mental health advocacy. So I run a community-based organization that is meant to champion for mental wellness amongst the young people. Yeah, so that's what I do.
Fantastic. And I like that both of you are young. We're talking about, you know, the youth and the voices of the youth when it comes to this. You're pretty young to be, you know, in advocacy, matters, mental health, a counselor and all that. What inspired you at this young age to do that?
I believe in people's productivity.
Okay.
And so I've seen how much mental health can degrade someone's productivity.
Okay.
And I don't believe in limitations. Like, I believe in conquering limitations. So that's one of my greatest influence in joining mental health advocacy. So I try and make people as productive as possible by removing that burden they have because of mental health. Because being productive is part of using your mind and engaging your mind. So you cannot engage your mind fully if you're not properly well situated in your mental health. Yeah.
By removing that burden, I like that. And you know, Zilani, today as we speak about the youth and also, you know, suicide prevention as well as awareness, probably first I want to thank you so much for being very brave to be here to share your story. I don't know how you feel about speaking, you know, about this topic, having been in this journey.
I think there's been a lot of stigma around suicide.
Yeah.
And it's about time we actually talk about the issue.
Okay.
Because so many people perish in that. And society, it's not a normal in the society for people to talk about it.
Yeah.
I think it's actually about time for people to just get out of that shell and be able to be, this is my journey. And I think by talking about it, we're able to help more people who could be in the same place.
Okay.
Just get out and, you know, become better selves. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably you may just briefly give us your background, very briefly, in terms of because you were married at some point.
Yes,
maybe you can start from there. You know, you're married, and then if you have a family, children, or stuff like that, we can start from there.
All right. So I was married in 2020 for about 3 years.
Okay.
It was a marriage that had its ups and downs, and I think I would want to make it clear that because it's a sensitive conversation we are having today. It's not about a bad person.
Right.
It's about a bad marriage.
Right.
So it's important.
I like that.
Understand
to
that.
know that.
Yeah. So I have a son whom I got while married. It was, I can't say we tried, is two people who are trying to make something work.
Okay.
But ultimately it didn't work, leading us to having this conversation today.
Yeah.
Well, wow.
Fine, that is okay. But let me as you just catch your breath a bit and like collect your thoughts. Njuki, when you look at being a young therapist like this, then, do you feel like you connect better with your peers? Do they come to you often, and do they open up to you, do you think, better than the older generation?
Yeah, I think that's true. We connect better because we're in the same generation, so there is no gap between us and the other generation. There is a lady who told me that she specifically wants a Gen Z, a young counselor. Reason being is because she feels like she will be judged if she talked about a certain topic that the next generation didn't get to experience to its fullest. So we connect because we understand the plagues that eat up our own generation. So like if they want to share it out, they are sharing it out because I can relate, like life-wise, I can relate with the examples she's giving or experiences that she's going through. Yeah.
And she's from a different, not a Gen Z? Like, was she a Gen Z?
Yes, she was a Gen Z. She said she wants someone from the same generation. So I think that's what brings us together. Like, they understand that because you're in the same generation, then you must have a clue about what I'm going through. I just want to pour out what I'm going through, and they know I will listen because I know.
You relate.
Yeah, for sometimes sharing some experiences with the other generation might be a shocker to them because they're like, in our times we never used to have this. No, it's a thing. Yeah, so like they take that reaction quite seriously.
They feel judged?
Exactly.
Do they feel judged?
Yeah, and they feel like you're shocked.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
For you, Nzilani, let's speak about the positives of this marriage, because of course for you too, there was the dating, courtship, and then the wedding, then the marriage, isn't it? How was it like? The positive side of it, how was it like?
Oh, we had quite some good moments. I think I would say of my ex-partner is someone who supported me in terms of in the family setup. We never lacked. He was a provider. He used to give guidance.
Yeah.
And he was a good dad to our son.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, wow.
It's okay, and it's understandable, you know, what happens like this. But Njuki,
Yep.
coming back to you, like in this, you know, what happens? There's a beautiful marriage somewhere, and not just for the young people,
Yeah.
even for our generation, beautiful marriage and all that, children there, harusi, pilau na chapati. What changes? Is it the people who change? Is it the times? Is it the circumstances? What happens?
Wow, that's a good question. I think marriage is a mixture of two different personalities, people who were brought up from different backgrounds.
Yeah.
So, and then you need to set your mind at a place where you know now you're not living life alone, that you're doing life with somebody else. So even the slightest decisions you make have to affect the other party as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's where the issue is, because when it comes to synchronizing two different people from two different backgrounds and two different families, so I think the problem is how they can synchronize that into harmony and unity, if I may call it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nzilani, there was dating, you know. Are you dating now first?
Not yet.
Not yet, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, but now when you're dating, what do you look for in a guy? Like at that point, what were you looking for in a guy, and did you find it in that particular person?
Well, I was pretty young actually when dating. I think if I would talk about dating right now, what I would look for, it's totally different.
Yeah.
Then it was tall, dark, and handsome.
The TDH is always right.
Yeah, and but now I look at it differently actually. Because now I want leadership.
Yes.
I want someone who loves the Lord, because I know they will love me like the Lord loves the church.
Yes.
Then I was looking at these things, not important things that girls actually look for, and you come to realize that they don't even matter in marriage. It's not about the tall guy, you know, can he treat you right?
Yeah.
You know, it's not about so many things that we think are important.
Okay.
Yeah, actually the things that matter are not always like forthright.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But so in your marriage now, because now there's all this, the TDH, tall, dark, and handsome, and everything seems to be nice and rosy.
Yeah.
At what point then do things begin to change?
Well, for my case, things they're quite different from the word go. It was like I had some signs not to walk into it, but I still did.
Oh, prior to the wedding?
I still did.
Okay.
Yes. And you realize that you cannot change someone. You cannot. It's so hard to change myself. So what makes it easy to change someone else? So you realize that some of these behaviors or habits get magnified in the marriage. Yeah, so so before marriage, then you don't get to see the bigger picture, you know, of that. But when you get into marriage, then now everything comes out. Is that what you're saying? I actually say marriage magnifies habits. I think I've actually seen that.
Okay.
I can confirm that to be true.
Okay.
Yes. And I'm saying this as a pro-marriage person.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Even after everything, I love marriages.
Fantastic.
Marriages do work.
Fantastic.
I have friends' marriages which I look up to. Yeah, and definitely hope to have one good marriage sometime in the future.
You will.
Yeah.
Amen. So what are these things that probably, because there are young people also watching right now or even listening in, what are some of these things that probably you saw, like you said, red flags we may call them, but you just said, you know what, I can overlook this, probably he will change. What are some of those things?
First, I think the flirting, we may take flirting lightly, but I think when someone chooses to be with you, it should just be you and not, you cannot entertain other people. So when you see a trend of someone flirting with different people, it should be the first, you know, red flag. Someone unexplained, you know, someone just leaves, or they just disconnect, you know, they've gone somewhere for work or something, and they cannot, you cannot talk at night. I mean, you should be free with your partner anytime, but there's a time they cannot talk to you, or you just call, they disconnect your call. You know, sometimes you want to, oh, they went for work. It's no work, no one is busy, you know, to even just, you know, pick your call and tell you, oh, I'll get back to you. So there are these things we ignore, like inconsistent communication, or just going and, you know, and just
going quiet.
Going quiet. It doesn't happen. That's not the, you know, the characteristic of an ideal relationship. So that was a red flag for me too. And also someone making you feel like you're not good enough. You know, there are, you know, like there are many other options. Right. Yeah, and I think it's something I felt a lot. I felt an option, and I think I settled for less there. You know? Yeah, when I felt like I was an option, I think that should have been my cue too. You know, I can't do this, but I let myself still walk into that.
Njuki, bringing you into the conversation, Zilani is talking about, you know, someone making you not feel good enough. Is this the point where we call it gaslighting, or can you speak to gaslighting? And also, when someone makes you feel like that, then as a person, how are you supposed to behave or react?
I think gaslighting is making you feel like you're the reason for every bad thing that happens, and they have plenty of reasons to justify and validate whatever has happened, and they point it out to you, which is also part of making you feel like you're not good enough, because what that does to you, it does not give you the allowance to be a better person, because all it points you to is how bad you are. And that also shifts your focus to who you'd want to be, to how pathetic you are. So you're like, I'm helpless, I can never change. So he keeps saying this and this, so I can never change. So it's, I think there is a very thin line between a red flag. I think there's somewhere I wrote that there's a very thin line between a red flag and someone being in the process of changing their toxic behaviors. Like something ceases to be a toxic behavior the moment that person realizes that this is a toxic behavior and I want to work on this. So sometimes you might find someone at the verge of realizing they're going through, they're toxic, and it just takes a bit of time for you to realize they actually realize and they want to change. So it ceases to be a red flag. So yeah, we can give priority to those people who want to change. Yeah, and let's not be too quick to point fingers to someone just because you pointed a negative trait. You never know what path that person is walking.
All right. And you know, listening to Zilani, there's so much that happened, because we're talking about suicide today and you've walked this journey. But what really now pushed you to that level of, you said, no, you know, this is it. What really happened that, apart from, you know, being talked down upon, your self-esteem being, what was the highest point of now feeling, no, this is it?
Oh, wow. Well, it was, let me say, in the 3 years that we were together, I think I can count months of being happy. Months. So that means in every week or bi-weekly there was an issue to sort. Yeah, and I think that drains you. It does. That drains you mental health. Yeah, so when you having someone talk down on you, or you have this issue, it's either, you know, I'm trying to be careful not to just, you know, like I said, it's not about a bad person, and I do not intend to do that. But when you're dealing with this issue today, another issue tomorrow, it becomes overwhelming. And then sometimes you try to talk to people, and people will be like, every marriage goes through that.
Right.
So it's like they're belittling. They don't get that this is you. It's not about every other person. Well, I've not been married before.
Exactly.
And when I was getting married, I was hoping it should last forever. Like, I mean, that's why we walk down the aisle. Nobody like walks knowing tomorrow I'll be out of this. Yeah. So when the shift came, and I started feeling not good enough, and then after my son also came. That boy I love so much, and I thank God for him. But after he came, it also changed a dynamic. You know, motherhood changes you. I was that slender girl, you know, and then you like, oh, I'm different. I'm a bit different now. So am I not likable anymore? And you see, when the other person is making you feel like that, it affects you also. Yeah. So there's so many issues. In as much as you get help from other people, people can only do so much for you. And so I'd find myself like having to deal with a lot behind here.
By yourself.
Yeah, behind here, because people are like, when you tell someone I'm going through this, they want to compare it and belittle what you're going through. So I'm like, let me just process this on my own. I think I know the shoe I'm wearing, and instead of me like getting all this negativity from you guys, I'm just going to deal with this. So I think me dealing with all that, not feeling good enough, dealing with multiple issues every now and then, that was so overwhelming for me, and I dealt with it for all those years. 3 good years. Yeah, remember I just mentioned that I can count months, so it means most of the time there was this issue or another. A human mind, a human can only take so much. You get to a breaking point. I hear you, and I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, it's all right.
Njuki, you know, from Zilani's point, it's like there was no one to talk to. There was loneliness. What role does that play when it comes to matters, you know, mental health, and more so pushing someone to that level of thinking, I need to end it?
I think emotions or feelings needs to be expressed, and especially to another party, a fellow human being. Like, there needs to be a connection for that to happen. Like, for whatever Nzilani is feeling, for it to feel like it has been expressed, there need to be another party who takes that as well, like knows how to take that as well in a proper way, or otherwise she will end up feeling like she has not expressed herself, which in turn causes her to feel like she cannot do this with anyone, so she feels like she can do it alone. And being alone, what it does, it promotes a lot of overthinking. And what that does in turn is you end up making decisions that might look right to you because of the situation you are in, and sometimes those decisions are selfish because you only look at what it has done to you, and you don't think about the decision you've made. What is it? How is it going to impact you and others as well? So sometimes it puts you at a place where you feel like you are alone. So even the decisions you make are just tied to you only.
Isn't that the decisions that this person is making at the point? Isn't it because probably may not call them selfish, because at the point they're unwell? Isn't it? Isn't it a mental issue at that point?
I think it is.
They're not rational anymore.
They are not rational anymore because actually everything seems to be going against what they want. So at that point, they are left with no choice. But by rather than just making decisions that would accommodate them at that time, or would make them feel protected or safe at that time.
Let's talk about, there was betrayal in this marriage, isn't it? You felt betrayed at some point, apart from the other issues. And I think this was the major issue that pushed you over to the other side, and you said, I can't handle it anymore. But when you look at it, how did that affect you emotionally and also mentally? Because there was so much going on, but now this betrayal, was it now the one that broke the camel's back?
Yeah, sure. Well, you want to, I think it feels special when you know this is my person, you know. But when it's no longer that, you start to, again we go back to the doubt. You start doubting yourself. Your self-esteem is attacked. And I remember by the time I got to having the suicidal thoughts, well, I quit really important things in my life.
Okay.
I serve in ministry back in church, in worship ministry. Yeah. I took a break. That's what we do, like when you're feeling overwhelmed. But I knew this break, I would rather not take it, but I did because I couldn't, like, I didn't want to do it anymore. Okay. I was in school. I quit school. I love writing. It's what we've talked about. Yeah. I stopped writing. I stopped, like, literally everything I used to love, I stopped doing. And at that time I was battling so much. I found myself just behind closed doors, like, most of the time. But because I'm quite introverted, people will not get that. So it looks normal, she's just doing her thing. Yeah. But I battled with feelings of being not enough so much at that point, and just living everything I love doing. And I knew then I was in a dangerous place. I didn't know how to go about it, but I knew it was a dangerous place I was in.
Wow, I like where you've brought us to in terms of now the thoughts, in terms of what you're feeling at the time, and even just stopping to do what you really loved at the point. We're going to take a very short break as we listen in to what Kenyans had to say about this particular subject, you know, matters suicide prevention as well as awareness. What do they know about it? Let's take a listen.
Yes, I have met somebody with a suicidal thought, and it was a chance encounter out of a gesture of goodwill. And most of the people with suicidal thoughts are people who have baggage with nowhere to offload the baggage. And one of the practical solutions is just giving them a listening ear. You allow them to take out whatsoever is weighing on them, and also assuring them that all will be well.
Mtu kama huyo ukipata kwa hiyo hali, anafaa umchukue, utafute mwenye ataweza mfanyia counseling hata kama umemuongelesha.
Nilikuwa na best wangu, alikuwa anataka kujitoa juu ya mashida ya familia. Najua sasa ukijitoa si ati umemaliza hiyo shida. Unaona? Shida ni solution ni kukaa mkuja pamoja as a family. Muongeleshane kama wazazi wa msichana, muitane wa vijana, mkae kitu moja, muelewane.
I've ever encountered someone who has been suicidal, and unfortunately the person passed on because of love scandals. That true love comes from God, and Jesus Christ is the true way and life. So with this information and with this first mindset, not seeking love from humans and not seeking love from other people, you will find that you will grow inwardly and love will flow from yourself to outwardly.
Wow, right there we have Kenyans talking about this very sensitive but important topic on matter suicide. And we've actually had someone saying there that, you know, about parents coming in together and talking about it. Actually, what they were actually responding to was some of the preventive measures, which you will be addressing, Njuki. But before that, probably people may want to know, as you're going through all this, you've withdrawn and all that, where are your parents at this point? You know, you said you are reaching out to people, but they're like judgmental. They really minimize your issue. Yeah. Did you get to speak to your parents?
I did. I, however, think there's this gap between the space our parents existed in and the one we are in is different. It plays a big role in that. Because when I'll talk to my mother, you know, and she'll be like, isn't it challenges za kawaida you'll get? Like you can't like tell her mom, I think my mental health is at stake here. She'll be like, you'll be all right, you know. And I think it's not, they don't belittle the situation. I think they just don't understand how this is an issue right now. I think we've seen a lot of this with, you know, the Western side. So in Africa, we are yet to really grasp like this is really an issue. So when you talk to, and I'm happy for the parents like who've been able to step up. And actually when the kids come and tell them, I am going through this, they take it seriously. Right. But I'm so grateful. They were there for me. They prayed for me. My parents are pastors, and I love them so much. And in the way they knew how to, they supported me. There are conversations I wish we were able to have, but I understand that there's this space they are in. No, my parents are Gen X? You know, I'm a millennial. There's this gap. Yeah. So while I've been exposed to a lot, I've learned about mental health and all that. It's something maybe they don't. They don't get as much. But in the way they were able to, they supported me. Yeah, and I'm so grateful for that.
All right. Njuki, looking at some of the signs and symptoms you talked about in terms of withdrawal, stopping to do what you love, what more can family members look out for, you know, just to pick if there's a, you know, suicidal?
Yeah. I think there's what we call body language. Your body has a way of, just from the word itself, your body has a way of communicating without necessarily voicing it out that something is off. So like if the community would learn to pick out how people react to certain things as opposed to waiting for them to voice them out, that would be a very good thing. A very good example is maybe you're with a friend and then you're trying to call them and then they wameshtuka. Like, that might be a very good sign. You might want to ask them what's wrong, because it's not normal that you're just calling someone, or you're called someone for like 3 times now, they're not even there. They're not even answering you. They're just looking at a place, gazing at a place, and they're not hearing you out. Such things, they may be very great pointers, because it means that that person is drowned into their thoughts. They're thinking about something too much, to a point now they have lost touch with reality. They're not even there at that moment. They're just lost into their thoughts. So that might be a very good pointer for you to continue prompting them to at least speak to you, create a space where they can talk and express themselves. And that might be a very good place to start from, because sometimes all people need is to be listened to. Don't be always wanting to give solutions. Just listen, just give the compassion that person needs. Maybe that is all they need. And then they'll just figure it out.
Because I feel that that's all Nzilani needed. Empathy. Just listen to me. Actually, don't give me the solutions. Just listen. And you know, when you feel heard and seen, I think that in itself is okay. But was this your first attempt, and what did you do? Because there's so many ways of attempting it. What was this your first time, and what was it like? What did you do?
When I got to that place, I won't say I literally attempted it per se, but there's a place I would walk around in Thika. There's a place just before you get to Thika. It's not a roundabout. So there's from where you're standing on the road, there's a place that has stones down there. So I love taking nature walks, but I didn't take nature walks for fun then. I took them and would stand there and be like, what if I throw myself down here? I could just die and end this. And I did that, I think, about 4 times. I never attempted it, but
the thoughts came.
The thoughts came. Actually, at that time we were trying to see a therapist as a couple. Yeah, we tried to see a therapist to see if we could work this out. So when it didn't work anymore, I called him one of these days, just when I was there. And he told me, Esther, you've lost zeal for life, and if you keep this up, we'll lose you in the next 2 months.
Your ex now is telling you
No.
Oh, the therapist?
The therapist.
Oh, okay.
Like, I think he needed to be tough with me at that time. He told me, Esther, if you keep this up, we will lose you. And I think that hit somewhere in me, and I knew I didn't want to take this route. I think if I went there maybe 2 more times,
just
and looking
now.
that I didn't like, there's nothing I was doing. I wasn't singing anymore. I wasn't in school anymore.
Yeah.
I wasn't, and then I had cut off friends.
Your son was there at
My
this point?
son was there, and I think God gave me that child for that specific season. Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, it's not the major reason why he's in my life, but I needed him in that season because he's the only reason I lived. That time I was like, if I am gone today, what will this boy's life be like? I remember I called a friend, and I love her for that. And she told me, Esther, live for yourself. Even if you die, your son will be raised. And while I really appreciated that, I think my son played a major role into the turning point of my life. And then I was like, I cannot live. I love this boy so much, and I cannot do this to him. It was no longer about me. In as much as someone is telling me to love myself, and I know I need to live for myself, but this boy made the whole difference at that time. He was the only thing that could motivate me to live, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Juki, listening to Nzilani, you know, we've seen on socials, probably even friends and family members who say, Ntajua. What do people respond to when people say that?
A very popular response to that is sijue basi na itaendelea.
Exactly. Yeah. What can that do to someone who is in that particular space at that particular time, especially if you have nothing to lose? At least she had her son and consider that people who have children, they don't even care. What does that do to someone?
I think that comment adds on to the frustrations that person has. Instead of pouring life into such a person, you're even giving that person more reasons to just commit suicide, which is not a very good thing, especially because of how we are brought up as a community. We grow together, we love together, you know. So I don't think that's a very good statement to tell someone who is contemplating suicide.
Right.
So I think we could be more mindful about how we talk and how we respond to people who are very verbal about suicide, because most of the cases people are not verbal about it. Yeah, there was an instance at our home place in Juja. The guy, there's a car bridge there. So the guy was on a motorbike. I had this story from a fellow, from a friend who does boda for a living. He's a good friend. So he told me he saw the guy being dropped there by a boda. Then he asked the guy, how much do you want? I can give you for some amount for lunch. So he just picked 2,000 bob from his pocket. I think that was his last penny. Maybe he gave the guy, and then he just jumped.
Oh my goodness.
in a blink of an eye, like he didn't think about it.
Oh my goodness.
You see, so like sometimes you might be the reason why that person is thinking about leaving. So you never know. So everything you say to someone, you must be very careful.
And sensitive as well.
And very sensitive, because you don't know. Maybe you are the last person that person is talking to.
And probably let's just give this a lot of thought, because you know, October being a month of mental wellness, please let's be kind to each other. It doesn't cost you anything. Let's be empathetic. Let's be compassionate. Let's be understanding, and let's look out for each other. As we get to our socials, I can see Akisa Inyele here saying, good morning, Sally and the guests. This is a very insightful topic. Thank you. If someone is in that position Zilani was right now, what coping strategies can they apply to help them in their journey? Njoki?
Okay. So we are taking a situation where you are in a marriage that is probably not working, in the sense that you have tried every possible route. You have tried counseling. You have tried talking to the spouse directly. You have tried your parents, and it's not working. I keep saying that one very instrumental thing in any place you are is having a circle. Like, try your level best not to be alone. Find, even if it means just having that one friend you can always count on. That is the best thing you can ever do to yourself. Just that's why there is meaning in accountability, because even in the confines of you taking your vows, there is an audience, there is a witness. So amongst those people there, you know there is a friend you can truly go and talk to. That is a very good thing, because in that space you're not usually very sober, if I may say, to make conscious decisions. So that person might be sober for you and might tell you, do this instead, do this instead. And also, sometimes you might not have the energy to ask for help.
Correct.
Because you don't have that energy anymore. So that person might come in handy during those times. They might try and find one of the best people who can help you in that situation. So try your level best not to be alone.
Okay.
Yeah, even if things break loose, you will always, trust me, you will always find one person.
So that support system is very important. Like what you had really with your friend, and when you spoke, you know, probably it helped you in one way or the other, isn't it? Yeah. Then there's someone else who's saying, good morning, Family TV. Thank you for this much needed conversation. As Christians, we tend to hide. No, I think this is not for today. This is for last week. Oh, there we are. As a parent, I'm happy you're having this conversation, especially in this month of mental wellness. My daughter has attempted suicide twice by cutting her wrist veins and taking overdose. Do you think it can be repeated even after counseling? To the lady, what role or support did her parents give, especially during the violence, or it was hold on and build your marriage? And I think we had talked about that, but then Zilani, probably you can take that again for the sake of this particular listener or viewer. Support system. I think it's about the support your parents gave you, especially your parents. This is a question I had asked you, but during the violence, did it just still urge you to hang on in there?
Well, at first, again, I said I'm a pastor's daughter. And I'm the firstborn. So there is this image, you know, our daughter got married. And back in the village, I'm this nice guy, you know. So you don't expect my marriage to fail.
Yes.
So when it happens, there is a lot to deal with. Like everyone is telling you, including your parents, like go back. In fact, I remember in March, because we separated officially in June. So in March, I packed and went home. And so father was like, you know, you can just forgive. People forgive each other. And this was so new to my father. Remember, I had been battling that for more than 2 years.
Right.
It's not even 2 years, because I said prior to even the marriage we had issues. So I had been battling that a lot, but then you don't go and tell your parents everything every other time. So when I went home, Dad was like, just, you know, forgive. People forgive each other. And I was like, Dad, I'm doing this for you, but I know where I am right now. And I feel at that point they were not supportive.
Okay.
I think what they needed to do is embrace me and just be, you know, you'll get through this. Not to try and tell me marriages have challenges. Of course, I know that. But we are talking about Nzilani. This is my marriage. This is my experience. The same way we say marriages are different because there's no blueprint for that. So you need to address this as my experience, not compare it to anyone else. And I think that's something parents do wrong. Like when your child comes to you now in matters support, being a support system, when your child comes to you, please personalize the experience. It's personal to them. Don't compare it to yours. You know, our parents, and I think there's this conversation we hear, like our parents' marriages lasted longer. It's true.
But at what cost?
But exactly. And we have a lot of women, and I'm sorry to say this, but I think we have a lot. If I've listened to a number of them talk, people have given up on their dreams just to sustain this marriage. And I don't think marriage should be where you're giving up something so that it can be stable. But if you look at them, you'll say, me, I had to do this. And I understand we have to do to give sacrifices for something to work. But there was a lot of them giving up so much because marriage for them was like a rite of passage. It was this big deal. But now we have young people who are getting married with an understanding that, oh, I need someone we have shared goals with. I need someone we can actually do life, do ministry, and goals together. So it's a different thing altogether, and you need to be able to look at your child's marriage the way they say it. If they tell you, Mom, this issue is pressing me, please understand it is pressing them, and do not compare them to yours or anyone else's. And also, I think it's important, or sometimes you may not know what to do as parents, but pray for your children. And just hug them, hold them, and tell them, I'm here for, I may not know how to do this, but I'm here for you. It makes the whole difference.
Fantastic. I really love the way you've addressed our parents this morning. You've addressed us in a way that I think it has to sink in. It's either it sinks in or it sinks in, all right? But there was also another question. It's for you, Njuki. You know, the parent is asking, my daughter has attempted suicide twice by cutting her wrist veins and taking overdose. Do you think it can be repeated even after counseling?
What is repeated?
The attempts of, the suicide attempts.
I think with proper counseling, that habit should die down, because I believe, like, we are trained to handle such cases. And then just an advice to the parent as well, because I know she's probably devastated about the kid's state. One of the most pointers that this person is going through pain is inflicting pain on themselves as a means of getting rid of what they're feeling. So I think that's a pointer to them. And as I just said, if the parent knows a friend to the girl or the boy who she's very fond of, she might want to talk to the friend as well. If at all the child cannot be open with her about the situations she's going through, because again, sometimes there's fear of how your parent will perceive you, because sometimes maybe a parent has this perception of you, and probably out there you're a different person. So if he or she knows a friend that she's fond of, maybe they bring that friend a lot at home. She only hears the child talk about this particular friend mostly. She would want to talk to the friend and just accept the friend to be around most of the time, so that she can get a chance to talk about what she's going through, and probably she can learn more from the friend as well, what she's going through, and she can get to do some amends on how she treats the child.
Fantastic.
And maybe, if I could add, I think people should understand that suicide is not, when someone is suicidal, they're seeing it as a solution to end a problem.
Actually,
they don't want to die.
It was a question I was going to ask you. You know, when you're thinking about it, was it about, you know, ending that pain, or you really wanted to die? It was just to end the pain.
I did not want to die. Like, I have so many dreams. I just wanted to end this pain, this feeling of emptiness. And so people should see suicide as an attempted solution. Actually, I want to solve this thing for my life, and I think this is the solution.
This is the way out.
So that's how we should perceive people. Not treat them as if they, you know, they've given up on life. They just want to. They don't care about us anymore. You know, when someone says they're suicidal, you want to be like, look at what your parents have done for you. What do you want to do to them? You don't see that is. I'm trying to just get to solve this thing that I'm in right now.
Fantastic. I really love that point, because it was going to be actually a question that I was going to throw at you. Let me read this very quickly because of time. We have probably less than 3 minutes. If a person mentions wanting to take their own life, inform the family and then talk to the person to open up. That is Frida, who is just sharing her, you know, thoughts right there. As we wrap up, the importance of therapy and counseling in all this, you know, awareness, prevention of suicide?
Well, I keep saying that therapy does not impose a decision on you to make. It just prompts you to be at a place where you can sufficiently make your own decisions. And a great thing, I've gone to therapy myself, and one of the greatest things I appreciate about therapy is that it points you to you. Like, it points you back to you. Like, who are you as a personality? What are your dreams? Who are you associated with? So when it points you back to you, it brings the reality to you. Like, it opens you up to just not thinking about you, but who you are relating with.
A bigger picture of
bigger
that.
Picture. And that makes you, even when you're making decisions, you take a consideration on that. Especially if you have dreams, you're like, man, I don't want to die, and I have all this to do, I need to do. So therapy is very important because it opens you up to who you could be.
All right. Briefly, in 20 seconds, your parting shot, Nzilani.
I think I would say people should, talking about therapy still, The same way when you're physically sick, you go to see a doctor.
Yes.
It's the same way when you are mentally, emotionally sick, you should see a therapist.
Okay.
And just because emotional wounds are hidden does not mean they are not wounds.
Okay.
And so people should really consider therapy seriously, just like they see the doctor.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Fantastic. What a great...
I did therapy this year and it was amazing.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Are you still going on with it?
I still talk to my therapist.
Fantastic, fantastic. So it's not a one-time thing. It can be ongoing.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that for sure. And you feel it's actually helping you.
It was amazing.
Amazing. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for making time to be here. Thank you so much for being strong enough to share this. I know it wasn't easy, but you've actually done it and we're proud of you. Thank you, Zilani. You're welcome. Wow, there we have it. There we have it. A lot of tips right there on prevention, on awareness, on the importance of just having that support, and the most important one as we're ending the show, therapy. Seek that therapy. You need to just surround yourself with a lot of positivities, and that comes through therapy, where you see the bigger picture, as Njuki has put it. Thank you so much for the feedback that you've shared with us. I want to appreciate you for being part of this conversation. Remember, all this is being brought to you courtesy of you being a partner with Family Media as we keep Jesus on the airwaves. This can only be done by the grace of God and by your support. And remember, we're also talking about Lamu, where we want to involve these people in Lamu to be part of this family. We cannot leave them out. We want to also inform them on matters, suicide, inform them matters, finances, relationship, parenting. That can only be done by or through your support. And we urge you to keep doing that on our paybill number 316 and the account name shall be Lamu. And also, if you want to be a partner, you can send the word partner to 20316 SMS line or 0786316316. That is our WhatsApp line. Send the word partner, and our great team will be out there to guide you on how to go about it, as well as the people who are on Cooperative Bank. If you hold an account with Cooperative Bank, then it's displayed on our screens. You can send your support to Cooperative Bank account 0113-600-799100, and the account name is TBN Family Media. God bless you and keep you. See you again next week, Tuesday through to Thursday, where we've really lined up an amazing show on Family Matters. God bless and bye for now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was great. When we started